and I probably can only hold the phone for but so long. But I don't know. Have any of y'all ever seen the show um, on Netflix called Baby Reindeer? It's like this mini series, and it's a quite interesting show. Like very interesting. The creative direction is, whew, it was crazy. But I wanted to hop on just to kind of talk about how we neglect that when we fall into certain scenarios, it's a part of a pattern that we are very used to, but our subconscious mind, um, or actually our conscious mind suppresses it. So I don't know if y'all can hear me because I've never used this platform before. So hopefully you can. Um, Maybe put in the chat if you can or if you can't. But within the show, there's this man. He goes on to work in a bar because he moves to, I think, London with his girlfriend, and he believes that, okay, London's going to be the best thing for him. However, when he's in London, he realizes, like, it's not the best thing. The way they unfold the series is pretty cool, right? I was thoroughly engaged every single episode because it's one of those things that they go backwards with. So he ends up at a bar, working at a bar, and then this woman comes in who turns out to be his stalker, right? I mean, she only becomes a stalker once she is offered something nice from him. So he gives her like a free drink because she's in the bar, she's distressed, she's crying, she is like not having a great day. And so after she gets this free drink from him, he then starts this conversation. He goes on to say like he feels really bad about like not entertaining her. And I'm thinking like, well, I thought he was being really nice, but truthfully, he was kind of suffering from his own demons. I would recommend that you guys go watch the show because the show was pretty cool. Again, it's Baby Reindeer on Netflix, but I just wanted to point out like how this guy, he was going through a lot of trauma that he didn't really recognize. And the woman was going through trauma that was very recognizable. Later on in the show, we know that she went to jail prior. She had a lot of past, I guess, convictions, and he becomes attached to this. He becomes attached to the convictions. He becomes attached to the attention that she was giving him. And I want y'all to realize and notice that a lot of times when we are attached to attention, it's probably because we are lacking something, even if it's bad attention. And this woman was giving him horrible attention. It was stalker vibes. All right. I want to tell y'all that he was probably anxiously attached. They never really go on, they do actually go on to talk about his parents. But typically, when someone's anxiously attached, what that looks like is the need for connection, always wanting to connect, whether it's good or bad, picking a fight, um, nitpicking at your partner, nitpicking at whomever. And that's what we're seeing here, where both of them were anxiously attached because when she starts to kind of ward off because he goes on to call the police because she threatens his parents, he then is just like, whoa, I don't know what this woman's name, Martha. Maybe like I have to find Martha. I have to figure out what she's doing. I wonder why she's not calling me anymore. Those are things of anxious attachments, right? Because one at first he wanted her to stop. Then he decided, like, wait, I actually crave this attention. And it's like one of those shows where they're narrated, the main character is narrating, and so he's even talking about it in some of the still scenes. And I found it very interesting to watch. I would also then say that in different time periods, they're trauma bonding. And trauma bonding is something that we often overlook. When someone goes through a similar trauma, maybe you guys people get into car accidents together, perhaps people are um, going through like a really huge series of events, they can become trauma bonding because you have this shared experience where your emotions are both connected and you both have something to essentially bond over. In this show, they don't necessarily have two similar things that happen, but they do have similar things that make them trauma bonded, as in she would experience experiencing vicarious trauma through the abuse that her parents was going through. and he experienced his own abuse. And so through that particular bond, they become bonded, or that trauma, they become bonded. We also see the anxious attachment happening too, because when he starts to ignore her, she then wants more. She's badgering him, calling him 24/7, well, really emailing, because at the end she starts calling, and that was probably the worst thing that the police said could ever happen. But these are just things to look out for in your own relationships. It's probably not going to look like baby reindeer, but some of you guys keep going back to dead relationships, or keep going back to dead experiences, because you crave this attention, this connection. You don't want to feel rejected. And the rejection that you're feeling only occurs because there was an unmet need, or there is an unmet need that you still haven't satisfied, whether that be security, or the need to want to be vulnerable, but you can't be vulnerable with a parent, spouse, whomever that you are in a relationship with. So it's a really good depiction. Go and watch the show. And if y'all don't watch the show, you're gonna regret it. But just go ahead and watch the show. Okay, y'all?